share. But Muamalat is mainly focused about halal and haram. What is haram for me that I should avoid in businesses, and what is halal for me that I should do.
Probably Dr. Saim would like to add in?
Well, in addition to Dr. Yusuf, Dr. Muhammad Yusuf Salim, well, yes, that's actually right. Because as we are Muslim, we do not only consider this world, we have to consider the hereafter.
Yes.
So what we do in this life, of course, will be faced and will bring them to the hereafter. Yes. So then, with that, whatever we are doing must be, you know, in justice. What must be in, you know, in equity, must bring some goodness to not only for us, for other people. And what we are consuming, what we are doing, whether it's halal or haram.
Right.
So that's why it actually eternal consideration of economic and finance issues. So that's obviously important.
Right.
Let's also add, I think, you know, even when we talk about these concepts like halal and haram, we must also be very clear that these are not necessarily legal concepts.
Right.
The concept of halal and haram, I think, goes beyond legal domain. You can have many things that are legal but are haram.
Yes.
Yeah? You can get a license to open up a gambling business,
yes,
but it will still be haram.
Yes.
You can get a license to sell liquor, but it will still be haram. And similarly in Islamic banking finance, I think when you talk about the halal and haram, you have a minimum.
Yes.
You have a minimum standard that you cannot go below.
Right.
But Islamic economics will not be only talking about that minimum standard. It will be talking about which is ethically superior. So among the various financial products that you may have, which are all halal, I think Islamic economics brings in that ethical dimension, which actually tells you that A is better than B. Although both A and B are acceptable, but A is better than B. And this is where the ethical choice of choosing the better alternative comes in. So, you know, going back to the discussion of debt financing and equity financing, even debt financing you will have in Islamic economics, in Islamic finance. But some scholars would argue that equity financing is the better alternative.
Right.
But not necessarily, not necessarily to be practiced by banks. Because banks are governed by certain environment and laws. So that's why I'm saying we may need to go beyond banks and look for other institutions that can actually translate these preferred alternatives into practice.
Right, and talking about the Islamic economics, how far the OIC countries have adopted this? Probably Dr. Saim would like to...
Well, yeah, with that we have to go back to first when the first Islamic bank established, or how people's attention actually came into this idea. Of course, as Prof. Aslam knew, that first conference was held in Saudi Arabia in King Abdul Aziz University in 1976. 76. So with that, the official let's say organization towards the Islamic economics started. But before that, the idea started in Egypt, in the city of Midghamar, small city, and people came together and they have established the idea of Islamic banking. And after that, the idea came. And some other conferences, for example, in Karachi, in Pakistan, was held. After that, in Malaysia and in other countries. So with that, under the, of course, promotion of OIC, started. So now, when we look at the Islamic organization, most of them, of course, in now 75 countries have Islamic banking and finance.
Right.
OIC, of course, most of them they have established Islamic banking and finance institutions, let's say branches or banks or academic research institutes in their universities. For example, one in Saudi Arabia, IRTI, promoting and helping, of course, IDB, Islamic Development Bank, much supporting these ideas. Doesn't mean that they are, the OIC supporting this only because the name of Islam. No, it's actually giving benefit.
Yeah.
It's good for people, because if you deal with through this system, you'll get benefit, you'll get profit, somehow better than the conventional one. So dramatically increased in OIC countries, and of course interchangeably helping each other. For example, in Turkey, now we didn't have institutions in Islamic banking and finance institutions. Now we have university, for example, Sabahattin Zaim University, specifically teaching in Islamic banking and finance, established a couple of years ago in Istanbul, and Istanbul University, for example, providing Islamic banking and finance, and other institutions. So in Malaysia, for example, it's a center of Islamic banking and finance. You have many institutes, all the universities are providing this, and all European people are even, United States lecturers, academicians coming to Malaysia to learn Islamic banking and finance.
Okay, let's talk about Malaysia, where we will go for a short break right now, and when we come back, we'll talk about Islamic economics in Malaysia. So stay tuned to this talk.